Alright, we're dealing with some AC complaints. It's been, I believe, at a previous shop, and the previous shop thought that the air conditioner wasn't operating correctly due to a high failure rate part, evaporator temperature sensor. It's located roughly right there. The whole dash has to come out in order to deal with it. I wanted to go over what I was seeing right now. I did go ahead and pick one up so you kind of have a reference of what that part looks like. Now again, it is underneath the dash, and so that needs to come out, but I'm monitoring it here with the scan data, and I realize there's probably a large glare there, but especially this graph PID right here says evaporator temperature sensor. It needs to hold it, as you'll see this one here, AC clutch. It needs to hold it somewhere around freezing or just above, so it doesn't freeze up the evaporator. Now that is a high failure rate part, but I've been dealing with this for quite a while now, and I don't replace parts without being able to condemn them. And so off somebody else's recommendation, I absolutely will not replace any parts. And you can see the AC compressor cycles on and off. You can see it drives the temperature up and down. And at this point right now, everything is working operationally. So we have checked cooling fan function. It is operating. We have a good sweat going on here, so it is operating correctly. It did arrive with no service port caps, which is kind of a big no-no. I keep these in stock. The low side service port is leaking. It will need to be serviced, and it was down a little over 1/3 of a pound on refrigerant, which will cause some other things going on as far as the AC not to work correctly. At this point, I don't have a smoking gun that it actually needs that sensor, and that's what we're making the video about. Again, this is a very high failure rate part, but it's very labor intensive in order to tear that apart. The other thing that I noticed, we do have a noise right here as the AC loads up that drive belt system. I don't know if that comes through. It's kind of a rattle in the video right now as that compressor clutch cycles on and off. So just kind of side note there, something that may need to have some attention done in the future. The other recommendation that I see here is somebody's been in here and kind of, done a repair due to, I'm sure, a failed or a faulty ground on the battery itself. It really needs a little bit more permanent crimp on that in order to make that a good long-term repair. So that's what it needs at this point. I believe there may have been something going on with the wipers. I'll have to verify that with the folks that own the car. I've not done any service on them at this point, but they seem to be functioning like they're supposed to. So we'll verify that with the customer. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over this, if it'll focus. So the AC compressor just kicked back on. You can see right here the temperature, which is that sensor I showed you earlier. It's cycling and doing its job. I kind of did a graph over time. So I hope this is informative for some folks out there that may be battling something with a Ford Fusion. This is the 4-cylinder. And again, high failure rate, but I'm not just hanging parts on cars just because I feel like it. So hopefully this helps somebody out there, shed some light on the subject. This is a known good operating system for the scan data. If anybody ever has access to that, this system is working correctly.